What's up everyone, Coach Paul, and I'm gonna break down the kettlebell deadlift, a bunch of different cues that I like to use with clients, with myself, and any other coaches that might be watching this as well, and find out ways where you can avoid common mistakes, and then also ways to get yourself in the right position. And I like to start with the kettlebell anytime I'm introducing the anytime I'm introducing a deadlift to someone, just because it's a little bit easier to grasp concepts. I'll break down some variations. Got a plate that we can put stuff on so that you can see how you might adjust it depending on someone's body type. So first thing I get people to do is walk up to that kettlebell, and I like to think about having the horns, so I'm gonna pull this back just a little bit, having the horns of that kettlebell right in line with your shins. So if it was a bar and it just extended out, it'd be right in line with your shins. Now the first thing that people make a mistake on in the population is you're gonna see a lot of flared rib cages and extension in the lower back, that arch, I call it, like tuck the shirt, little Instagram butt. So I want to make sure that we get rid of that. And one of the ways that I do that with myself, with anyone I'm working with, is got to make sure that the breast's really tight. And that happens when we pull the rib cage down in line with the pelvis. The more that we can get this in line, stacked over, the more we create really solid canister. You want to think of your torso almost like a soda can, like a Pepsi can, Coke can, with the air in it, with the soda in it, right? That's really solid, that's really tight. You want to think of almost like a rectangle of your torso, so that when you go to hinge down, so I get my shins right up next to the bar, usually about hip width apart. I want to be in a good strong position so I can create torque. So now I'm here, hands around the lowest rib, and I'm just going to exhale out. Pull that rib cage down. You might even feel your abs turn on. What that's helping do is this helping get long and neutral in here, and then I'm going to send my hips back. So you can think of closing a car door. Maybe you got some groceries, say you got groceries, you're gonna close that car door. I like to think, pull down, send the hips back until you feel some tension in the hamstrings. If you start feeling tension here, that's how you know you gotta reset and come back into that position. Another way you can do this is reach for the floor, exhale out, send the hips back, and now we're reaching. So from here, I've got a stretch on the hamstrings, abs tight in the front, staying long here. And you want to pull that chin back. You don't want to be looking up. You don't want to be looking down and back. Just pull it straight. I like to say, like, look 3 feet in front of you. Now from here, I want to try and break this apart. So I'm trying to break these horns apart, or you can pull them apart. All you want to do is create some tension in the lats and the rear rotator cuff stabilizer muscles in the back of the shoulder, so that we got some tension in that upper back. So here, send the hips back, reach down. Now, from here, I feel a ton of tension, and you're gonna do this by driving your feet into the floor, breaking that bar in half, and just right here, I can feel everything I need to feel. The last piece is pushing off the floor, so it's standing up tall, lowering back down, and that's 1 rep. Big mistake I'll see a lot of people make when they get up to that top position is they come up, and they think pushing the hips forward is gonna get more glute activation. It's not the case. It's actually going to find you a little bit more in that hip. That hip coming forward is going to bring you into that low back extension, which is just going to cram that lower back, create more tension, possibly some problems with the actual joints in the lumbar spine. So, recap, you're going to go here, send the hips back, break the bar. You want to make sure that this is in line with the shin, so I'm going to scoop this up just a little bit more. Now I'm driving into the floor, ripping this kettlebell horn apart, coming up, all hamstrings, all glutes, stand tall. And then one last thing, just to reiterate on that breath, a big thing we want to do is create pressure in the core. Intra-abdominal pressure is the term you're going to hear in the gym. But you want to think about that soda can. So what I do is that I've kept everything tight, nothing's leaving from within that pressure. I might take one more breath in to fill it back up. Then I'm lifting off. Then coming back down. Keeping that brace in that core. It's gonna feel like you're like, if I was gonna get punched, I wanna be, now I'm gonna create that tension, create a ton of strength and stability here so that this isn't a weak point. What you see is a lot of people lose that breath and then they're coming up and all they're doing is just pulling with their low back muscles. Your low back, your erectors, the muscles there, those aren't where you should be hinging. The hinge should be coming from the hips. So everything you're feeling here, glutes, hamstrings, I actually generally feel front of the core as well because that's so engaged. Come up, and come back down. Now you get people that sometimes have longer legs, bigger upper bodies, and so elevating it can be a nice easy way to help create the floor and pull it up a little bit higher towards you. So now I'm going to go through all those same things. Come down, shins vertical. That's one thing I didn't mention. Keeping the shins vertical is a good way to know that you're not squatting it. If you're here, you're going to be squatting it. Shins vertical, knees, hips, shoulders, break it apart. Come up and come back down. Kettlebell deadlift. Let me know if you got any questions. Leave them in the comments or just shoot me a message. I'll get back to you guys.